guys, what's up? Welcome back to another fun, delicious week here at My Yummy Spatula. I'm RJ, I'm a professional pastry chef and a mentor, and this channel is all about helping you become a confident, skilled and a professional baker. So if you're somebody who's looking to elevate your baking game, whether you're a professional, whether you're a baking enthusiast, or whether you're somebody who's just starting out, or whether you're a baking enthusiast who wants to go professional, this is the right space for you. So if you haven't already, maybe go and hit that subscribe button and also the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of these videos and you get notified every time I do post one of these videos. So go ahead and do that, and by the end of it, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and maybe let me know in the comments what you think of this particular recipe, and I'm very excited to try it or not, because I know you've already read the title and you're very smart, so you know exactly what we're making today. Anyway, now that the introduction is out of the way, let's actually talk you through and show you what we're making today. So today, as you read in the title, we're making sonhos. Now, sonhos, if you're not aware of, these are Portuguese donuts. Way easier than regular donuts, and they're so delicious. They are like these little fluffy, airy balls, fry balls, and they are absolutely mind-blowing. Like, they're super easy and they're super delicious, and you get the same dopamine rush as eating a donut. So less hard work, maybe potentially better results. So I think it's a win-win for us. So sonhos, they're very popular around the Christmas time, and since I know Christmas has passed but we're still in like the holiday seasons, I was like, you know what, this will be still fun to make because they're delicious, and I don't think you need a reason to make delicious things. You should just make delicious things because life is short and you should enjoy life. Anyway, so that's what we're making today. Now, sonhos, unlike regular donuts, they're not bread-based, and what I mean by that is that unlike regular donuts where you're going to develop a dough, you're going to bulk ferment it, then shape it, and ferment it a second time, this requires none of that. It's super easy and straightforward, and there's no fermentation involved whatsoever. That is because these are choux pastry based. So it's kind of like a profiterole, but instead it's not baked, but it's fried. So you get the outside that's really crispy and crunchy, but the center is like light and airy and super puffy. Sonhos, actually, if you literally translate it, they mean dreamy. So these are like little dreamy balls of happiness. I guess that's the best way to put it. So that's why you can already tell why they're so simple, why they're so straightforward, and why I guess they're kind of better than donuts in that case, because they require none of that work and they're still very delicious. Okay, so enough talking, let's actually get to making it. But before we get on to making our sonhos, I'm gonna dip them today in a chocolate sauce. So I need to make my chocolate sauce fast because it needs to chill a little bit so that it thickens, and then we're gonna go on to make our actual star dish of the day, week, evening, whatever. This is the day for me. So anyway, so we're gonna get on to making our chocolate sauce first, and then we're gonna go and do our sonhos. So chocolate sauce, super easy, and this chocolate sauce, I know everybody says this about their food, but let me tell you, this chocolate sauce is freaking mind-blowing. It's super easy and it's super versatile because you can use the same chocolate sauce to make hot chocolate, or you can use it as a glaze for, I don't know, your cakes and stuff, or you can use it to make a glaze for your lamingtons. And if you're from Australia, or if you've ever heard of lamington, you know exactly what I'm talking about, which we'll talk about in coming videos. But today, this chocolate sauce, super easy, can be used for dippings, can be used for glazing, you can even use it as a frosting, which you just got to change the ratio a little bit. But other than that, super easy, very straightforward, very difficult to mess up. So it gets like 10 out of 10 on flavor, effort, and convenience, everything. Okay, so let's actually get started with our chocolate sauce. What I'm gonna do is, it's very simple. It's kind of like put everything in a bowl and whisk it. That's pretty much it. So here I've got my cocoa powder that I'm gonna put it in. And to this, I'm gonna add some cold milk. So you wanna add some cold milk, and we're gonna give that a whisk. So it kind of looks like a paste here. That. So once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and add some really boiling water that I've just boiled in my kettle here. I've got my boiling hot water here that I'm going to add to this. Give that a whisk as well. And while this water is still hot, we're going to add in our chocolate. And I know a lot of people might be going like, what? Did you just add chocolate and water together? You know what? Yes, you can absolutely do that. It's the amount of water and chocolate that makes it different. So if you add a teeny tiny bit of water in a lot of chocolate, that's going to seize up the chocolate. But if you add a lot of water in a teeny tiny bit of chocolate or just a regular amount of chocolate, that is completely fine. So it's the amount of water that makes a difference and not just the ingredient itself. Anyway, so we're going to keep whisking this to melt our chocolate. So if you notice, we didn't melt our chocolate beforehand. We're using that hot water to actually melt all of our chocolate. So you're going to keep whisking to make sure that the chocolate gets nice and melted. For any reason, if you fuck this up, okay, it's super easy. Just put your bowl over a double boiler or a bain-marie, which is the pot of boiling water, and melt your chocolate, and that's it. Easy peasy. Or put it in the microwave, maybe not in a metal container, but something that's microwave safe, and you've got melted chocolate. So all my chocolate is melted, nice and easy, and I'm just gonna dump in my icing sugar here. So icing sugar tends to be lumpy, so maybe give it a blitz or sieve it. I'm a bit lazy like that, so I don't sieve it, but I'm just gonna stick blend it to get rid of any lumps, or you can strain it and whatever works for you. So all my sugar is nicely combined and there are actually no lumps, but I like to emulsify things in general because it gives a lot nicer shine and you just get a nicer product. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour my chocolate sauce back into my jug, and you can already see how rich that looks. So pour all of that in, and I'm just gonna get my immersion blender or a stick blender, whatever you're gonna call it, and we're just gonna give this a little bit of a blend. Okay, that is perfect. Now you can put this back in the same bowl. Why not? Save yourself a bowl and put it back in here. And because my chocolate sauce is still a little bit warm, I don't want any condensation. So I'm gonna get some cling wrap and put it on the surface of our chocolate sauce. As we talked about in our previous videos, anything that is hot, you want to make sure you cover it on the surface and not on the top of your container. Otherwise, you're gonna get drips into your food and it's gonna destroy it because water breeds bacteria. Okay, that's it, done. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge to let it set and thicken up a little bit, and then we've got ourselves a beautiful, luscious, super chocolatey and thick dipping sauce for our Sonhos. Beautiful. So now that our chocolate sauce is chilling in the fridge, let's actually get started and make our showstopper for this video, and that is our Sonhos, aka Portuguese donuts. So like I mentioned, these donuts are choux pastry based, which means we're going to make it just as we make choux pastry, except that this one has a slightly thicker dough versus what you would make for, I don't know, profiteroles or eclairs, because we're going to fry them, so they need to be stiff enough so that you can pipe them and sort of fry them. That's the difference. Anyway, so like any other choux pastry, if you've never made choux pastry before, this is a good introduction, I guess. So I've got my pot here, and to this I'm going to add in my water. It's just room temp water, doesn't have to be cold, hot, whatever. And then we're going to add in our butter. I've just cubed my butter just because it helps to melt faster and boil faster. So that's why it's a good idea to cube your butter. Then I've got some salt here, so I'm going to put that salt. And we've got sugar. There's not a heaps of amount of sugar because it's not like super sweet, because we do coat them in cinnamon sugar, so you don't want too much sugar in the dough itself. So everything is in except our flour and eggs, which we're going to add later. And to the stove we go. We want this to come to a slight boil, and then we're going to add in our flour, cook that out, and then get it sort of mixing with our eggs, which I'll show you what that looks like. So as you can see, it's come to a boil. I'm going to quickly add in my flour. Give it a stir. If you want, you can do this off the stove. So like I said, it's a lot thicker than your regular choux pastry. You can see it's like this doughish here. So we're just going to keep stirring and cooking this for roughly 2 to 3 minutes. This has been cooking for 2 minutes. As you can see, the dough is a lot together. It's sort of like one ball now. And if you see, there's like a thin film of dough at the bottom. So that's when you can stop mixing this. I'm going to take this off the heat. So once that dough is done, I'm just going to pop this into a bowl of a stand mixer. So I'm just running my mixer on medium speed to cool down the dough a little bit, roughly 45 degrees Celsius, and then we're going to start adding our egg. So if I touch the bottom of my bowl, it's no longer hot. It's like warmish to touch. While the mixer is still running, you want to start streaming in your eggs. Roughly add about, let's say, half an egg to an egg at a time. You don't want to add all of it in one go. We're going to add this slowly, let that emulsify, add more. So as you can see, all my egg is mixed. I'm going to add my second batch of eggs now. Slowly, we're going to stream in some more. And every now and then, you're going to have to stop your mixer and scrape down the sides. As you can see, our dough is looking a lot thinner now. It's still a bit too thick, and I have a little bit of my egg remaining, so I'm just going to add in the last bit of egg, and that should be good. So as you can see, my dough is a lot looser now. It's still quite thick enough that it's holding its shape. You see, it's not losing its shape, but it's got a nice shine to it, and that's what you're kind of looking for, that nice shine. So this is good to go. I'm going to put this in a piping bag and then we're ready to fry it. Okay, let's transfer this bad boy into a piping bag. So I've just got a piping bag with a tip here. I'm just using a tip because I find it a lot convenient and it's a lot easier to sort of pipe into even shapes, if that makes sense. I'm going to scrape this and then we're going to put this in the piping bag. Let it cool down for a little bit. Even though my dough has cooled down, it's just better to let it sort of give it a few minutes to just sort of settle down a little bit, and then we're ready to fry it. Learned how to make these while I was working at a Portuguese Goan restaurant back in Bombay in India. So that's where we used to make these, and they were absolutely amazing, and this recipe is an adaptation of that recipe. So that's a lot of Sonhos. I love that. So this is ready, and while this is just chilling for a few minutes, you can go ahead and get your oil prepped for frying. So I've got my pot of vegetable oil on the stove top. We want to heat it up to 160 degrees Celsius, and then we're ready to fry it. Our oil is at temp now, so we're going to start it. You can do a few test batches if you would like, but how you want to do this is you're going to squeeze it in, cut it, squeeze it in, cut it, squeeze it in, cut it. They're not going to be perfectly round, but that's okay. You don't want to put too many at a time because they do puff up a lot, so I think that's good. And then we're gonna sort of drown them in oil. And once they're nice and golden brown on both sides, you can go ahead and sort of remove these. So I've got a bowl here with some tissues at the bottom to soak up that extra oil. Some of them are still a bit light, so I'm just going to leave them in there. And the ones that we've already fried, we're going to put them in this cinnamon sugar mix, and then we're going to toss them. Look at that. There you go. And let's get our chocolate sauce from the fridge. Oh, look at that. So thick. If you would like it a little bit runnier, you can leave it out or maybe microwave it for like 5 to 10 seconds. I like it this thick consistency, but that's totally your choice. Oh my god, that is gorgeous. And those are your Sonhos ready to go with the most luscious chocolate sauce dip you will ever make. I mean, I did have a few, I did snack on a few while I was frying them. Not gonna lie, total disclosure. And these are amazing. They're so light, they're so puffy, they're so dreamy as the name suggests. So I can't wait to actually dig in and do this whole shebang in front of you because, oh my god, I can eat a whole plate full of them, which is very dangerous, but very tasty. Okay, I know they're not completely round, but that's okay because they're quite rustic anyway, so I don't really care for them to be super round. But if you do want them to be like perfectly round, you can sort of pipe them in half sphere silicone molds, freeze them, and sort of unmold and like fry them frozen. That way they'll get beautifully round, perfect round donut looking thing. I don't mind the rustic style, so I'm happy with these ones. Okay, let's dig in. Oh, that's such a thick chocolate sauce. That is so light, so airy. Like that was one bite and I could definitely eat a whole plate of these. I will feel sick after, but I could definitely eat them. That's so good. Oh my god, these are so good. Honestly, and that contrast of that slightly dark, bitter chocolate sauce is so beautiful against that cinnamon and sugar and just like a really fluffy donut ball. Oh. Okay, I cannot emphasize enough on how light they are. They're so flavorful, they're so simple. It's like eating a hug. It's like eating a cozy, comfy hug from somebody. That's how they taste. They're very simple, there's nothing fancy about it, but they're just very homey, comfort food style dessert. That's what these are on a plate. I can tell you are absolutely gonna love this. You need to go and give this a try. You can find the full recipe on my website at myummyspatula.com and go get yourself some delicious Sonhos because you need them. You need them in your life. That's all I can say. Anyway, I need to stop eating these, so I'm gonna just like stash them away so I can't see them. Meanwhile, go check out the recipe. And if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and it genuinely makes me smile when you do give it a thumbs up. So please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't be stingy about it. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this. Are you excited to try it? What are your thoughts on it? Have you tried Sonhos before? Leave a comment, let me know. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy watching these videos. Again, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and you get delicious recipes every week. So if you do enjoy it, please go ahead and subscribe. Maybe hit that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of these videos and you get notified every week when I do post them. And that is it. That is it for today's video. I will see you guys next week. Until then, happy holidays, happy new year. I will see you in the new year. This was all for 2022. So I'll see you in the new year. Happy new year, enjoy, and I will see you in 2023. Bye.